tell you, when Kiko and I came here, it was 9 years ago now, one of the biggest questions we had was, how are we going to take care of medical expenses? I'm on Medicare, he is not, right? How do we establish a local doctor? Do we get local medical insurance? Do we fly back to the States? All of those questions were really unanswered questions for us. And I think all of expats have that same uneasiness, unsteadiness when they come here. The quality of care and the relative low cost of routine doctor visits and prescriptions is one of the many reasons that more and more Americans, Canadians, and people from around the world settle in Mexico. However, unlike routine doctor visits and prescriptions, major medical expenses are in the cost of thousands of dollars. That is something that we need to prepare for and to get ourselves ready for, because all of us, I've been in 2 medical hospitals here, okay, and it's in our future, period, okay? No one gets out free. So we've asked Aldis Barquedes, close enough? And he's a broker with Expats Insurance Brokers to join us today to better understand our options that are available. And Aldis is a risk advisor and senior broker who has worked for more than 35 years with experience and with 7 different insurance companies. So he's the expert. Let's hear from Aldis. Welcome, Aldis.
Good morning, everybody. I would like to thank Ron for inviting me to present today. It's an honor to be here. And my name is, are you ready? Aldis Barquedes. Here's a very easy way to remember this. All of this, Aldis. There you go. I think I'm the second tallest person in San Miguel. So anyway, I'm Aldis Barquedes. I've been in the insurance business since I think I got my license in 1993. I've been here in San Miguel for 10 years. I've worked for big insurance companies. I came down here after the 2009 crash. I've been coming to San Miguel for over 25 years. I'm a father of 6 boys, and I had a chance to live here for the first time in 2001 with a bunch of little rascals running around the Jardín and causing problems. But I fell in love with Mexico, and when I had an opportunity, I moved down here. I am here also with Melissa. Melissa is our property casualty broker. What that means is she basically handles the automotive, the home, the commercial business. Let's see here. And we are Expat Insurance. I started this firm as a one-man shop called We Expats, and now we have grown to, actually we should add one more picture, 11 of us. We have been here for 10 years. We have over 2,000 clients. A lot of clients here in San Miguel. I venture to say we probably have a few here in this room. Myself, my son Justin, who's the CEO, we have Barbara, our claims manager, we have our service team. And what we are is we are insurance brokers. I focus primarily on the health insurance and also the life insurance, medical evacuation. Melissa, who's associated with our Mexican partner, Novamar. Novamar is a large brokerage out of Puerto Vallarta that is known for working with expats and has a lot of different offerings, plus a bilingual team. And Melissa works with the automotive, the home, and commercial. This is a difficult topic to present in 20 minutes. I'm just going to kind of touch on a couple different things. I like to say this whole topic, and we call this What's Your Plan? We normally have seminars. I've been doing these probably for about 6 years. We usually do it at Frontera. We're actually thinking about this room if it's available. Really beautiful room. And that topic, What's Your Plan, is about a 1-hour presentation. I kind of cut it down to a couple of different pieces. This is one of my favorite sayings is, this is like drinking from a fire hose. You just grab something, a morsel here and there, and we are available for consultations to help you out. Every person's different, rather they're Medicare, Canadian, provincial coverage from the United States, or coverage here. It is a difficult topic, but we're going to touch on is care and costs in Mexico. I'm going to talk about two pillars of coverage, private and the social program. I'm going to take a look at some resources and then also some insurance options. If one of you passed out right now, we would call the Red Cross, 415-152-1616, and the Red Cross would show up. We are so fortunate to have a wonderful Red Cross here. They would quickly tend to you. There would be most likely 3 of them. Hopefully you get one of the beautiful Mercedes Sprinters, well equipped. But at some point, they're going to say, okay, we're ready to take you somewhere. That take you somewhere most likely will be to a private hospital. You're going to get into that hospital, rather it's MAC, rather it's La Jolla, and they're going to quickly tend to you. They're going to stabilize you, they're going to give you labs, and at some point, somebody's going to say, we have an idea what's wrong with you. And pretty much after that, somebody is going to show up from a bilingual person with a computer saying, welcome to our private hospital. Let's see how you're going to pay for this. First of all, in Mexico, the private hospitals are pay as you go. There is no bill me. There is no charity. There is no government entity that helps out. They want a deposit for the estimated charges. And they will take MasterCard, Visa, they will have you co-sign, a friend, call your kids. That hospital wants to know for sure that they're going to be paid. They are a private organization. They are owned by investors. You kind of take a look at who actually owns these. Some of these hospitals are actually owned by investment funds, like hedge funds. And they're definitely for profit. A sad reality here is there isn't a month or two that goes by where there isn't a GoFundMe campaign. Rather, it's a motorcycle accident for one of our young expats to raise $50,000, or somebody who's in a general hospital that is facing a hip replacement or something like that. Unfortunately, GoFundMe is a plan for a lot of people. They come down, they're not prepared, they don't have the resources, and it's a sad reality. Now, we have to come in Mexico, that everybody who is in here that's a temporal or permanente and their citizens are covered under a socialized health plan. There's 2 different types. There's the INSABI program, that it covers everybody. It used to be called Seguro Popular, and IMSS. IMSS is for people that are the workers. They're the ones that are part of the formal working community, and these are the people that work at the hotels or the restaurants where the employer contributes into the IMSS system. And these 2 systems basically take care of the citizens. We are fortunate in that if you kind of take a look across Mexico, there are some really great facilities for INSABI, for IMSS. There are some very poor facilities. Just outside of our town, some of the facilities don't even have working bathrooms. However, in San Miguel, we have the general hospital. They were just talking about this earlier. We're fortunate. It has decent care. Or one of the 2 IMSS clinics. This system is separate than the other pillar, which is the private system. You have the social system, the private system. If you do visit it, it's a busy place. If you have trauma, you will be tended to well. However, anything else, you're going to be waiting for your turn. And there are a lot of people that this is it. This is their only health care. And they need this system. And if they need to see a cardiologist, they might have a referral to Celaya or something, and it might take months before their turn comes up. We have great hospitals. I moved here 10 years ago, and I remember the De La Fe, or the nickname was De La Death, or Robin, what did you call it? De La Fatale. We have Mac Hospital, that was already mentioned. They're going to be coming up, kind of the new kid on the block. We have Hospital Hoya. We have Dr. Gordillo, who has set up his La Clinic, LA Clinic or La Clinic, not quite sure. Next, in Querétaro, oh my goodness, has anybody seen the new hospital? I think it's called Moscati, right by the HEB. I was there over the weekend. I'm staring at this huge 30-story building. We have H+, we have Los Angeles Hospital, we have Star Medica, we have world-class facilities. And then in different parts of Mexico, places like ABC Hospital in Mexico City, I mean, it's right up there in the top 100 in terms of care. They're modern, they're clean, the latest technology. I remember the old De La Fe used to have some of the equipment was like, wow, did you raid a MASH unit from the Korean War? No. Now, everything is state-of-the-art. Our offices are over by the La Jolla in the medical building. We're in the process of opening up, which has been an incredible journey with the city. But we were just watching the big MRI getting lifted from the truck. They're putting it in, finally going to have an MRI. We don't have to, get down to Querétaro for that. We have a lot of great facilities, great care. These private hospitals have, the top doctors they attract. As a firm, we have 2,000 clients. I like to say things that happen 1 in 1,000 happen to us twice a year. There isn't pretty much a business day that a claim does not come in that our 3 claims people are not processing. We have paid out about $1.6 million in the last 12 months. The beauty of living in Mexico, basic care is so reasonable. I had kind of an infection right here. I WhatsApped Dr. Gordillo at 9 o'clock. He's like, get in here. I'll see you at 10:30. I'm in there. I'm out of there by 11. I'm getting my antibiotics. I think the doctor visit was about $45. This is the beauty of living in Mexico. Doctor visits, $40. Labs, $10 to $150. Even a minor surgery, $150. Maybe you need x-rays. Somebody just had a chest x-ray for $7. I'm like, wow. Dermatology, go see Dr. Blanca or Archer. She lops something off. You get in, see if you have any problems with it. Mammograms, October, you can literally have a mammogram with an ultrasound for about 500 pesos. This is what we love about living in Mexico. We don't fear going to the doctor because we are not going to have a $300 visit like it is in the United States. Here's some of the problems. This is the big stuff. 1.6 million, 1.2 million are kind of basically focused on a few major claims. Back surgery with titanium, rebuilding somebody's back, $46,000. Compound fracture, that's where you snap something, they have to bring in titanium and rods and plates. We had somebody go in for a $2,000 hysterectomy surgery. A week later in intensive care because post-operative infection, $23,000. COVID hopefully is behind us. When La Jolla had their COVID wing, you were not able to be admitted unless you had a $25,000 US deposit. The care was there. They had the best respirators in the business, everything ready to go. But if you ended up in there, we took a tour of it. Average stay was about 12 days, 25 to 50,000. Lots of hips and broken femurs. Hip replacements, 13 to 25,000. We had a claim in, not here, but in Puerto Vallarta, a woman who bought a policy in October, by July had colon cancer, stage 4, and then 4 months in ICU. It literally topped out at $1 million. Unfortunately, the woman passed away, but we had to settle out hundreds and hundreds of pages of claims and ICU and multiple hospitals and medical evacuation helicopters. Heart stents. One of your members right now is in Querétaro. I'll venture to say their stent will probably be somewhere between $15,000 and about $30,000. We just paid out a $91,000 heart stent. So, if you take a look at this, what's happening? Let me show you this. Let me show you this next slide. This is a heart stent. This is a medicated heart stent. This is from an American company. I cut and pasted this triple stent from the bill. Take a look at the costs. $170,000 pesos, not dollars, pesos per stent. She needed 3 of them, 512,000 pesos for a little piece of metal. Why is it so expensive? First of all, you're dealing with some of the most incredible technology. This thing is coated. It comes from the United States. If you're H Plus Hospital, you are literally calling up Boston Scientific in Boston, ordering it next Delta Rush cargo from there, landing in Querétaro, and don't forget the 17% tax. Don't forget that there's a 20% currency change since the beginning of the year, and the hospital doesn't have the purchasing power like Cedars-Sinai. The labor costs are low. The parts are in some situations even more expensive. So how can you pay for your resources? How can you pay? What resources do you have to pay? Medicare supplements, private insurance if you're fortunate to have it from the United States. Canadian provincial plans, maybe you have a retirement plan or you're going to insure yourself. First of all, Medicare does not work abroad. Part A and B. Part A is the hospital, Part B is the doctors. It does not work abroad, period. If you have a Medicare supplement, the Medicare supplement is the Medigap. It's the extra portion that you buy. It has the letters F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M all the way down. And it provides emergency care only, $50,000 lifetime limit. Question is, does anybody track that? Nobody's been able to explain that. 80% reimbursement with a $250 deductible. Reimbursement, emergency care. What does that mean? You can't leave the hospital, and it's only for the first 60 days you are abroad. That's a key thing. Some Medicare supplements will actually require visa stamps, passport stamps, prove that it's in the first 60 days. Other ones just check this box. $50,000 if you have a Medicare supplement. This is a controversial concept, the Medicare Advantage, Part C. This is the plans that basically are the private industry, the Cignas, the United Healthcares, the Aetnas, that are taking on the role of covering you for the Part A, the Part B function, usually at a much lesser cost. That Medicare Advantage, technically, you must live in the planned service area. San Miguel is not the service area, and right there it says you must disenroll within 6 months. Some people abuse this, some people work basically to try to take advantage of this by living so-called in the United States, whether they have properties. However, this potentially offers you some much more wider foreign care. U.S. insurance, if you have U.S. insurance and you're carrying it, You're carrying a very, very expensive policy that really is not built for foreign care. If you do have one, there are many other alternatives that are out there. It is really out of network if you really think about it, and only for emergencies. If you're Canadian, Canadians have provincial plans. Are there any Canadians in the room? Oh, there you go. Well, they have some limited coverage. I won't even touch on that. So your options: self-insure yourself, set aside $10,000, $20,000. That will probably take care of a lot of things, or at least get things started. Make sure it's liquid. Make sure it's a Capital One card that has that kind of a credit limit that you can swipe or move from Cibanco, or whatever the situation is. Use a plan from home. Question, will it reach? Check in advance. Don't find out after the fact. Get a health plan to be treated here. That's our side, the international insurance. Maybe get a medical evacuation plan. We'll touch on that here in a second. Or if you really need to, or if you have an expat that just really cannot afford something, make sure they understand how to use the government system. It's a tough system to navigate, but there are people that have really been saved by it. So international health insurance, I can spend hours talking about this. I'm just going to basically say there's two different types. There is a travel policy. It is for tourists. If you live here full-time, you're not a tourist. You are a resident of Mexico. Real simple, can be issued up to age 85. It's meant for a defined period of time, 6 months, and it's done. I like to call it renting insurance. It's easy to get because you're not buying it, but most of them are only good for about 6 months. If you're down here and you're just visiting, you have coverage in the United States, it's a great option. There's no underwriting, really, for emergencies. Major medical, that's where we focus on. That's what I work on 90% of the time. You can have a policy that can be issued up to age 75. Once you purchase it, you can keep it forever. It continues for your lifetime. If you become uninsurable because you had a health condition, you had a heart stent put in or something just recently, that policy will continue. It is major medical, meaning that it takes care of in the hospital, outside of the hospital. It is fully underwritten. Underwriting is for people over 65, literally having a medical exam. For people under 65, it is simply completing an application and then potentially medical records. You can start before age 75. You can keep it forever. Deductibles are anywhere from $250 to $5,000. There's even $10,000 deductibles. If you travel to the United States frequently, you can actually have U.S. coverage. Obviously, it's redundant if you're Medicare age, but if you're under that, a lot of expats we deal with are coming down here in their early 60s. They don't have the option unless they pay for something back home. And pre-existing health conditions, I constantly deal with that. I laugh. I've been in this business for 30 years. My wife says, I know so much about weird medical conditions, I think I can practice medicine really soon. It takes some time to issue. It's not a simple process, but remember, once you get it, you can keep it. Another option is medical evacuation. It's a popular option. A couple things. First of all, it's a transport service. It's a bridge home. It's not medical insurance. You must be stable to travel. I like to say there are 4 things that can really wipe out your life savings here. It is having a major accident, it is having cancer, it is having a heart issue, or getting stuck at La Jolla for 2 or 3 weeks in ICU. These are $100,000 claims. Keep in mind that in order to be transported, you need to be stable. What does that mean? You are out of danger, the doctor has a reasonable assurance of what's wrong with you, and number 3, you are able to go somewhere. meaning that you have to have the proper coverage back in the United States or Canada. So you either have to have insurance or have full Medicare, and not just Medicare, but a Medicare supplement. But it is a great option for people in that if you do have coverage in the United States, we have plans that actually can cover you at any age, can cover pre-existing health conditions, and the best plans basically say the ones that not just take you to the closest facility where maybe your travel policy will have, but the ones that actually say, we'll take you home. Anyway, how can we help you? Myself, Chandler Hunt is our other senior broker. We are experienced. We know how things work here just from having claims, working with different companies. We can review what you have. Each person is unique. It takes into account your health condition, what kind of resources you have. We have about 14 different companies we work with. Each company is unique, has different features. We'll provide you advice. We are a company that not just sells, but we're unique in that we have the service team behind that. We have claims managers to figure out the facturas and all of the medical records to get your claims paid, help you with the service of the policy, and we have clients now that are now 11 years with us. So that is what we do. So if anybody's interested, I'm available. I can give you one of my cards. If you have any questions about property casualty, Melissa can help you. She can help you with UCD plated cars. She's working on one right now, or US plated or Canadian plated or Mexican plated, or also home coverage, things like actual homeowners or renters or commercial. Anything you want to say?
Can you move up to the microphones?
Here, come over here. You have to talk like that. They're just talking to it.
Okay, so this is Melissa Telles. Nice to meet you guys. Thank you. No? Yes. Thank you for having us. So as Aldis mentioned, I am in charge of auto and home insurance. So if you have questions, I have some information printed for you, and we can discuss by person. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Great. Well, we have some time for questions.
Look at
If
that.
anyone-
I did it in 22 minutes.
Anyone has a question? We have a question over here.
Yes.
Thank you. If I'm not mistaken, I only heard anything applying to people 75 and over having to do with medical evacuation. So I'm wondering if there's anything else you can say about being 75 and older plans. Thank you.
The limit for medical coverage, medical policies, is 75 and over. Some companies are 74. Medical evacuation you can actually purchase over age 75. Unfortunately, there is just no insurance policies for people over 75.
And Gail?
What can you share with us about this program that people keep talking about called Lakeside?
Okay, so Lakeside is something that started in Lake Chapala. What they do is they require to have Medicare Advantage. With Medicare Advantage, you remember that as the Part C. And then what they do is they will accept that and bill the provider. The thing you have to be careful with is you want to make sure you know what's going on, in that some of the people have complained that they're not aware of exactly what's going on and what the billing occurs. The second thing is, remember, Medicare Advantage is only for emergencies. An emergency is you are in the hospital and you cannot leave. The third thing is you are responsible to make sure you qualify for the Medicare Advantage. If you're living here full-time, the rule is pretty black and white. You have to disenroll within 6 months. The companies back in the United States, they are supposed to monitor that, but that is how that group works. From what I understand, they have a very limited hospitals that will accept them. Just understand how the program works. Make sure they describe it very clearly.
Questions? Very good. Thank you for coming today, and I'm going to
All
turn
right.
this back over to Lee. Thank
All
you,
right,
Aldous.
thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Take this as a gift from us. Keep that on your desk and send us new members. We're looking for young members that are insurable. So, that was a great, great presentation. All the years I've lived in Mexico, I don't think anybody's ever put it quite as clear as you did. So thank you so much for that.